Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. It's been a while, at least for me. I haven't been on this world for at least a week. And we're back where we left. I think we left it here. Yeah, because I was explaining the Stasis chamber and all that. Well, if you see to either side, I placed all the chests we had on top, plus a little bit more. And I labeled them, and I already brought everything we had back at the surface, but in here. Now, today's plan is simple. We're going to make an Enderman farm. And why, you may ask? Maybe you're not asking at all, but I will show you anyway. So, come along with me. Over here we have our zombie XP farm, which I made I think like 4 or 5 months ago. Right over here. As you can see, it still works, but I literally made it. I decorated it just a bit, but then I left everything laying down in here. I mean, just look at this. There are still lots of materials that I never brought to the storage system. And honestly, I just come here whenever I have to fix my tools. I get the rotten flesh and trade for emeralds as well, but this is not the fastest way to mend my tools. That's why today we're going to make that Enderman farm, which will be great because we haven't done any projects in the end so far, and this could be an exciting new one to begin with. Also, as you know me, I really don't like to go into a build without a plan. Like this, for example, it took me about a week to make these arches and whatnot. And for this project, I have planned to make it everything with pale oak. Well, and some netherrack at first, because I will need it to flood the place. But let's first get started with the grinding, and then I will do the explaining. I should also bring some bones with me, cause there's no way I will grow a tree without them. I love the rain, but I don't love it when I have to record cause it looks awful on the video. So maybe I do the explaining it a bit later, and not right now. Actually, I realized I can explain what I want to say with a bit of magic of editing. For example, I can place myself on the corner right now, while most of the screen shows myself dancing on the storage room, and now on my birthday place, and now near the villagers. So yeah, I can explain. And what I want to say is that I usually don't like using the same blocks I use always for everything. Like just a few years ago, I remember that I used to use cobblestone and oak wood for everything, and yeah, I've been trying to get out of that pattern, if I could call it a pattern, and I've been trying to experiment more with blocks. Like for example on the storage room, you see mangrove. Well, that's not a block I use a lot, especially because it's a pain to farm, but also because it's a new block and I usually don't like using new blocks. Then I use terracotta, which is not a new block, but it's something I rarely ever use because it's colorful. Same with wool, which I haven't used yet in this world, and concrete other than white and gray and black. You know, the ones that everyone uses for modern types of builds. So I've been trying to experiment with all types of blocks, but also I've been trying to steer away from deep slate, because that's the new cobblestone, since the caves and cliffs, you know, it's on almost every building, and since it's so dark, it goes really well with moss, and that has been like, I don't know, cobblestone and planks, oak planks, were like the old Minecraft vibe, and now the deep slate and moss is like the new vibe I've been seeing a lot. So yeah, Actually, I've been seeing a lot of deep slate and copper lately as well. Oxidized copper, not just the orange one. Again, because the oxidized copper is kinda like moss in the sense that it's cyan, kinda green. So yeah, it goes well with deep slate. But as I was saying, I've been trying to steer away from those blocks, and that's why I'm trying to use pale wood now. Also, I thought it would be a great choice for the Enderman farm, because you know, the end it's almost all black and some yellow from the end stone, and of course there's the purple from the chorus fruits, but yeah, there's nothing in the void exactly, which is where this Enderman farm will be placed. So white will be a harsh contrast between the black of the void and the farm itself. I also plan to use blue glass because it goes well with the void contrast and matches well with the white and goes well with the water. Also, some extra details about that farm is that I usually, when I make an Enderman farm, I like to make it so you don't have a roof right next to your head. That's why I will use these pale leaves that I'm farming along the trees, which, if waterlogged, I think Enderman can't step on them. And that way I can come in flying and come out and basically have no roof, which is what I like. But first I want to make sure I have enough wood, because there was only one time that I underestimated how much wood, or, well, not wood, but materials I needed to make an Enderman farm, and that was the only time I needed to know that I have to get more. Because that time I think I did like 3 or 4 trips back home and back to the farm for more. So yeah, I don't want to do that in here, especially because I haven't done the nether portal to that place. Maybe, maybe I could, because we're going to go there anyway, so maybe I could. But yeah, it won't be safe anyway. Also, check out my inventory. I thought I wasn't going to have enough, but I have 8 stacks of wood already. That's good. Now that's not raining, I can say something I want to say about these trees, now that you can see them. And that's the fact that I like how they aren't exactly like dark oak trees. They look like them, but they are just slightly different. If you saw over there, this section, there were like some logs in between the leaves, which, at least from my experience with dark oak trees, they aren't like that. And that's a small little detail that I like, because some people usually say like they are getting lazy or that the updates aren't good, but there's a little bit of thought and detail that gets into these updates, even if they are small, that isn't just copying something that already exists and, you know, making it different. Alright, I think I have enough wood, especially because each of these stacks become 4 stacks of planks. So yeah, let's try to get leaves now. Another thing we can talk about is procrastination, because that's something I struggle with, and seriously. I don't know how many times have I said that I wanted to make the magic 8 ball on the Mind Realm server, and I still haven't done it. It's not that I don't want to, but I just don't know how to make it, like how to turn it into a video. I said I wanted to stream it, but that's not what I can do right now. And it's been too long for me to just keep pushing it away. So that's why I wanted to make a video now. But I don't know how to structure it. Like, yeah, sure, I could make a time lapse, but a time lapse is like 30 seconds, and then I have to make something else on that video. And I don't have much to do other than just explaining. Like, I could talk about, I don't know, the read-only memory and the randomizer and whatnot, but that's something that requires its own separate video, so I can go into detail. And if someone is watching a time-lapse about a machine, it's surely because they want to see it like being built and how it works in the end, and not much about how it works or why it works like that. So yeah, I still don't know how to make it into a video, but I will figure it out a way. If I don't find a way, I will just make it like some artists make speed paints, like doing the whole thing in like 3 minutes and upload that as a video instead. Now we're heading to the desert because we need some sand for glass for the Enderman farm. Maybe coming here at night wasn't my best idea. I'm almost sure that this dark gray sky it's rain, and that's crazy because I know I said I like rain, but it's been raining like for 3 days now. We have to go to the nether next, so it's okay. It doesn't rain there. I will leave an ender pearl here, so when we are in the nether, the sun can continue smelting in here. Since we need netherrack, we are going to go netherite mining. That way we can try to be lucky and find some netherite. Your worst enemy is just freaking out. If you freak out, then you might get burned. Okay, it seems there's lava all over this side, so we are just going to steer away from that. In the best case scenario, you should use your entire armor so you don't burn to death. Like, I just almost did. Okay, this place seems to be too dangerous without potions, so let's go back here and try again. There we go. Usually I also mine all around in case there's more, because that can happen, but sadly this is not the case. And this has been going well, so let's just wait until this is done. I have the netherrack, I'm getting the glass, I have the leaves, and I have the wood. So now we have to wait until the glass is done. This will serve as practice before we get into the void. It's not the most secure portal, but it will do. And if you are wondering what I'm doing here, well, there we go. 2 episodes ago I made that portal. Okay. I made that portal so we can come here quickly. Now the fun part starts, which is going down there and going 200 blocks away from this main island. I should mention that I made a backup before starting this because there's a really high chance that I will die in here. We want to be able to walk from this side, so let's place netherrack 1 block below. And let's try to bring enough to make the 200 blocks, which is this, more or less. You know, I placed 256 blocks and I still see the island. Maybe I will go 64 blocks more to this side. Maybe just to be sure, one more. Okay, so the problem isn't that I was still close, the problem is that my render distance was too high. Because if you see at my back, that's the end city islands, like the farther place of the end, and that's the main island, though, yeah. So let's just go, I don't know, maybe 128 blocks back, because there's no way they will spawn in here. Just with this platformer you can see why we are going far away from the main island. The farther away you are, the less blocks they have to spawn, and the more spawn where we want them to spawn. Now we have to do the same 2 more times, but 1 block higher. Okay, now I will explain this part, and I will do it on my own because it will be really time consuming. So, we will flood this middle section, like this. And once we have the whole thing flooded, we will place leaves. Also, we will get rid of these blocks over here and place leaves. Why? Well, first of all, I don't like when the water is falling like that, so I wanted to have a waterlogged block like this. Second, Enderman can't teleport to waterlogged blocks because they have water in them. And the third is that leaves are transparent blocks, which means that Enderman can't spawn on them. So we will have a 3-way bridge going all the way from here towards the farm, and then the farm itself will have like some sort of area for me to stand. And if you heard me previously, while I was grinding the wood and all that, I said I wanted to have a clear sky for me to fly in and out, so this is how we are going to make it. Alright, now it's time for me to do all this. Now you can see all the water is stopping from flowing, and there's not a single Enderman in here. If I'm not wrong, they can walk into this place. Yep. But they can't teleport or spawn in here, so there's no problem with that. We need to make this platform over here and do the same process as we did with the bridge. We have to flood it all, and then we start making the farm up in the sky. Actually, this is quite satisfactory to make. One would think that being in the middle of the void would be scary. Nah, this is fun. I mean, just for this time, because it's the only time we will be able to do this. But think about it. I'm literally flying in the middle of the void. Not with Elytra, but in the water. This is really cool. Now that we have a platform in here, let's bring the shulkers and let's start building the farm. Making the farm, making the farm. We first make the tube, then we let them spawn. Making the farm, making the farm. We first place the wood, then we use fancy glass. Alright everybody, I hope you liked that montage, cause life got in the way and I had planned to talk a lot more about the farm, but yeah, I couldn't do it. And I do have to release this video today, so I hope I have enough time to do the editing and all that. I mean, I have been editing already, but I need to place this part into the video, so I'm sure I will have time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye! Da 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 da